Welcome to this video on cybersecurity for lawyers, where we discuss the minimum cybersecurity expectations that a law firm should follow. Employee training and awareness are among the most effective defences against social engineering and email compromise. Regular training ensures staff remain vigilant against evolving cyber fraud tactics, particularly as cybercriminals increasingly leverage artificial intelligence tools. Law firms are frequent targets of cybercriminals, with business email compromise, BEC, being one of the most commonly reported incidents. In these cases, attackers gain unauthorized access to email accounts and impersonate either the firm or the client, deceiving parties into redirecting funds to fraudulent accounts. To mitigate these risks, ongoing cybersecurity education is essential. Depending on where you practice law, you will be required to follow your own firm's policies and may also be obliged to comply with mandatory cybersecurity training. For example, in the state of Victoria, Australia, the Victorian Legal Services Board and Commissioner sets out its minimum cybersecurity expectations, which requires law firms to provide all staff with comprehensive cybersecurity training relevant to their specific roles and responsibilities. In this video, we will use these minimum expectations as a guide to help your law firm understand these requirements and how cybersafehq.com provides cybersecurity training relevant to the specific roles and responsibilities of lawyers and support staff. Law firms should implement critical system and behavioural controls to protect their firm from cybersecurity threats. Critical system controls should be the top priority, as their absence leaves a firm highly vulnerable. Many measures, like enabling automatic updates, are easy to apply, but additional security steps may be necessary depending on the firm's size, work type, and client needs. System controls are technical safeguards that defend against external threats. Behavioural controls focus on secure practices to reduce human error. All three control sets work together to strengthen cybersecurity. Let's start with the critical cyber controls. The first control is security updates. Keeping all work devices, applications and software updated is critical for protecting client confidentiality and maintaining the integrity of your law firm's operations. Cybercriminals actively exploit outdated systems to gain unauthorized access to sensitive legal data, putting both your firm and your clients at serious risk. To mitigate these threats, ensure all devices, including laptops, servers, operating systems, and network hardware, are regularly updated with the latest security patches. Unpatched vulnerabilities create entry points for hackers. Enable automatic updates wherever possible to prevent delays in applying crucial security fixes. If automatic updates are unavailable, conduct manual checks at least every 2 weeks to ensure all systems are protected. Avoid using outdated or unsupported software, as it significantly increases the likelihood of a breach. If legacy software is essential for your practice, it should only be used under strict IT supervision with additional security measures in place. Failing to keep systems updated not only exposes your firm to cyber threats, but could also constitute a breach of professional and legal obligations, potentially leading to financial and reputational damage. Prioritizing security updates is a simple yet essential step in safeguarding your firm's data and upholding your ethical responsibilities. The second control is passwords and logins. In the legal industry, weak passwords are a major security risk that can lead to unauthorized access, data breaches, and client confidentiality violations. Cybercriminals use sophisticated methods, including credential stuffing and brute force attacks, to exploit weak or reused passwords. To protect sensitive legal data and uphold professional obligations, follow these best practices. Use strong, unique passwords or passphrases for all work devices and accounts. create long and unpredictable passphrases using a mix of unrelated words for extra security. Never reuse passwords across multiple accounts. Each login should have a unique password. Avoid weak, common or compromised passwords and never include personal information in passwords. Utilize a secure password manager to generate, encrypt and store complex passwords safely. Providing staff with access to a firm-approved password manager enhances security across all work devices. For frequently used logins, such as your computer or password manager vault, use a strong passphrase that is easy to remember but hard to guess. If a password manager is not an option, securely store written passwords in a lock safe or secure location. Immediately change any passwords that have been compromised or linked to an account that has been hacked. Compromised passwords are one of the leading causes of cyber incidents in law firms. Implementing strong password policies is a simple yet crucial step in securing your firm's data, maintaining client trust, and preventing breaches. The third control is Multi-Factor Authentication (MFA). Cybercriminals frequently target law firms, seeking access to sensitive client information and financial data. Even strong passwords are not enough to protect against sophisticated attacks such as phishing and credential theft. Multi-Factor Authentication (MFA) adds an essential layer of security by requiring an additional verification step, such as a temporary code, security key, or biometric scan, making it significantly harder for attackers to gain unauthorized access. To enhance security and reduce the risk of breaches, enable MFA on all online accounts and services where available, including email, cloud storage, client management systems, and financial platforms. Use online guides to set up MFA for common services, e.g. Microsoft, Google, Apple, by searching for how to turn on MFA for that provider. Check account settings and enable MFA if the option is available. Never ignore or disable it. Encourage staff to use MFA on their work and personal accounts to strengthen overall security. Without MFA, your firm is highly vulnerable to cyber attacks. Implementing MFA is a simple but powerful step in protecting client data, preventing account takeovers, and ensuring compliance with cybersecurity best practices. Now we'll discuss the system cyber controls. The fourth control is security software. Law firms handle highly sensitive client data, making them prime targets for cyber attacks. Malware, ransomware, and phishing attacks can lead to financial losses, data breaches, and legal consequences. Installing and maintaining strong security software is essential to protect confidential information and maintain professional integrity. To keep your firm secure, install and activate antivirus and security software on all work computers and devices. Enable built-in antivirus programs as a starting point, but consider third-party solutions for enhanced protection if required. Run a full antivirus scan when setting up or reconfiguring a work device and after any change in user access. Schedule weekly virus and malware scans or set up automatic scans where possible. Use a secure domain name system (DNS) provider to block malicious websites and prevent cyber threats. Failing to implement robust security measures increases the risk of cyber incidents, potentially leading to data theft, system compromise, and breaches of legal obligations. Prioritizing security software is a fundamental step in safeguarding your firm and clients. The fifth control is access control. Law firms handle confidential client information, making strict access control essential for protecting data and maintaining compliance with professional obligations. Unauthorized access can lead to data breaches, financial losses, and legal consequences. Implementing role-based access control (RBAC) ensures that staff only have access to the information necessary for their role, reducing the risk of insider threats and accidental data leaks. To strengthen access security, implement a role-based access control system, granting staff different levels of access based on job responsibilities. Limit access for contractors, interns, and temporary staff. Ensure they only access the systems they need for the duration of their employment. Assign individual logins or temporary guest access. Never share credentials between employees. Monitor and record access permissions to track who has access to sensitive data. Consider using access control software for better oversight. Review access permissions regularly, ideally once a month, and immediately revoke access for departing staff or those changing roles. Do not use administrator accounts for daily tasks. Reserve them for IT administration. Avoid shared accounts whenever possible. If necessary, implement strict usage policies and logging mechanisms. Failure to properly manage access control leaves your firm vulnerable to insider threats, unauthorized access, and compliance violations. Ensuring access is granted appropriately is a simple but crucial step in securing client data and protecting your firm's reputation. The sixth control is devices. Law firms handle highly sensitive and confidential client information, making device security a top priority. Unprotected devices can be easily exploited by cybercriminals, leading to data breaches, unauthorized access, and compliance violations. To maintain client trust and legal obligations, firms must secure all work devices against theft, loss, and cyber threats. To enhance device security, turn on full disk encryption for all devices that store or process confidential data, ensuring information remains protected even if a device is lost or stolen. Change default passwords when setting up hardware such as routers and servers. Default credentials are a major security risk. Enable automatic device locking when inactive to prevent unauthorized access. Physically secure all work and personal devices by locking them away when not in use. Only use USB sticks and external hard drives from trusted sources to prevent malware infections. Decide whether to allow staff to use personal devices for work. If permitted, provide clear security guidance, including using a secure virtual private network, VPN, to protect remote access. Failing to secure work devices puts your firm at risk of data loss, cyber attacks, and ethical breaches. Implementing strong security measures is essential to safeguarding your firm's reputation and protecting client data. The seventh control is information security. Law firms handle highly sensitive client data, including financial records, identity documents, and privileged legal information. Without proper encryption and secure data management, firms risk unauthorized access, data breaches, and legal non-compliance. Protecting client information is a fundamental ethical and legal responsibility. To ensure data security, encrypt all sensitive, confidential, or privileged data when storing it, on external drives, cloud services, and when transferring it to other organizations. Only send high-risk information, financial details, identity documents, via unencrypted communication at the client's request and only if absolutely necessary. Securely erase or destroy old hard drives and devices before disposal to prevent data recovery by unauthorized parties. Regularly review client files and data, recommended every 2 years, to determine if continued retention is necessary. When using documents as precedents, extract them from client files and remove any confidential or sensitive information before storage. Failing to properly secure and manage client data can lead to severe legal and professional consequences. Implementing encryption and secure storage policies is crucial for maintaining confidentiality and compliance. The eighth control is backups. In the legal industry, losing critical client data can have serious consequences, from breaching professional obligations to facing legal and financial repercussions. Cyber attacks, system failures, or accidental deletions can all result in permanent data loss if backups are not in place. A robust backup strategy is essential to ensuring business continuity and data protection. To protect your firm's data, identify which files need to be backed up, prioritizing important client details, financial records, and legal documents. Select a reliable backup solution. This could be a cloud backup service, e.g., Microsoft OneDrive, Apple iCloud, external storage devices, or a combination of both. Consider cloud-based providers that allow file recovery. Backup files regularly to minimize data loss risks. Enable automatic backups where possible and backup at least once every 2 weeks. Encrypt backups and store them securely. Never keep backups in the same location as primary devices to protect against physical incidents, e.g., fire, theft. Verify that backups are working. Test restoration at least once a year to ensure data can be recovered. If a test fails, investigate and correct the issue immediately. Maintain appropriate backup retention policies. Previous backup versions should be kept for at least 2 years, while logs should be retained for up to 7 years, depending on regulatory requirements. Failing to implement and regularly test backups can leave your firm vulnerable to data loss, regulatory penalties, and operational disruption. A reliable backup strategy is essential for business continuity and client trust. Finally, we'll cover the behavioral cyber controls. The ninth control is training. Cybercriminals frequently target law firms due to the highly sensitive client data they handle. Human error remains one of the biggest cybersecurity risks, making ongoing staff training essential for preventing breaches, phishing attacks, and data leaks. Well-informed staff are a key line of defense against cyber threats. To strengthen your firm's security posture, provide comprehensive cybersecurity training to all staff, tailored to their specific roles. Cover key topics such as phishing, social engineering, password security, and safe web browsing. Ensure cybersecurity training is part of new staff induction and require annual refresher training for all employees. Update training content yearly to address new and emerging cyber threats. Make sure all staff understand their role in protecting firm data and know their responsibilities in the event of a cybersecurity incident. Regularly share relevant cybersecurity updates with staff to keep them informed of new risks and best practices. Without proper training, even the most advanced security systems can be bypassed through human error. Investing in regular cybersecurity education protects your firm, your clients, and your reputation. The 10th control is client or bank verification. Law firms are prime targets for financial fraud and email scams, with cybercriminals using sophisticated tactics to intercept payments and manipulate client transactions. Trust account fraud and business email compromise (BEC) are among the most common and costly cybersecurity incidents in the legal sector. Implementing strict verification procedures and training staff to recognize red flags are essential to prevent financial losses and protect client funds. To secure trust accounts and prevent fraud, monitor trust account transactions daily with oversight from a senior staff member who has the appropriate experience. Verify all client details, account numbers, email addresses, before actioning requests or sending sensitive correspondence. Carefully scrutinize emails, payment instructions, and client requests for red flags such as urgent demands, unusual changes, or inconsistencies. Always verify payment details using a separate pre-established communication method, e.g., phone, video chat, or in person, before transferring funds. Never rely solely on email instructions. Educate clients on cybersecurity risks and advise them not to send confidential information via email unless absolutely necessary. Ensure all staff are trained on fraud prevention procedures and can quickly flag suspicious activity for immediate action. Failing to implement strict verification processes can lead to financial fraud, data breaches, and reputational damage. Prioritizing secure transaction practices is critical for protecting your firm and your clients. The 11th and final control is incident response and reporting. Cybersecurity incidents can happen at any time, and law firms must be prepared to respond quickly and effectively to minimize damage and protect client data. Without a clear incident response plan, IRP, firms risk financial loss, regulatory penalties, and reputational damage. To ensure an effective response to cybersecurity incidents, develop and implement a formal incident response plan with clear steps to identify, assess, mitigate, document, and report security breaches. Ensure all staff are trained on the incident response plan and know what to do if they suspect an incident. Test and update the incident response plan regularly, at least once a year, to address new threats. Maintain up-to-date contact details for your bank's security team and ensure staff can quickly access this information if needed. Immediately report cybersecurity incidents to relevant parties in accordance with your incident response plan. Notify affected clients as soon as possible if their data has been compromised. Encourage a culture of reporting. Establish a structured process for incident reporting, internal communication, and post-incident review to strengthen future defences. A well-defined and regularly tested incident response plan is essential for minimising the impact of cyber attacks and ensuring compliance with legal obligations. Be prepared before an incident occurs. In closing, cyber threats continue to evolve, and law firms are prime targets due to the sensitive data they handle. Cybercriminals exploit vulnerabilities, often through social engineering, email compromise, and weak security practices. Without proactive cybersecurity measures, firms risk financial losses, reputational damage, regulatory penalties, and legal liability. Tailored cybersecurity training is critical because human error remains the biggest risk. Proper training helps staff recognise and prevent cyber threats. Law firms must meet legal and regulatory cybersecurity obligations. Different roles face different risks. Lawyers, support staff, and IT teams require specific training based on their responsibilities. Ongoing education ensures firms stay ahead of emerging threats, including AI-powered cyber attacks and evolving fraud tactics. A strong security culture reduces risk. Regular training, security updates, and incident reporting procedures help safeguard client data. Understanding cybersecurity is not optional. It is essential to protect client confidentiality, ensure compliance, and uphold professional obligations. Providing role-specific cybersecurity training and fostering a security-aware culture is one of the most effective ways to defend against cyber threats. Visit cybersafehq.com to learn more about our course Cybersecurity Training for Law Firms and start your learning program today. Thank you for your interest. We trust you found the content informative.